Well, we also have a few very special women joining Rashmi on the dais today, and they form an integral part of the book. But first, I'd like to welcome all of you in the audience. Thank you very much for waiting. Thank you very much for your patience. As you all know, at Crossword, we aim to be a point of social and cultural interaction, where authors and poets hold court, where children are regaled, where people gravitate to be informed, to be entertained and enlightened. We're here, ladies and gentlemen, to officially launch the book Follow Every Rainbow. And joining us with Rashmi Bansal on the dais, ladies and gentlemen, firstly, do we have Nirmala here with us? Nirmala Kandalgaonkar from Vimam Agrotech. A round of applause for her, everybody. Satya Wadlamani, Murli Krishna Pama. Satya, is she here with us? Alright, Satya would not be able to make it. Deepa Soman, Lumiere Business Solutions. There she is. And Neena Lekhi, she's already here with us. Baggett, the lady behind the brand Baggett. And before we move on, a very special thank you to Westland, the publishers of this book. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a round of applause. I think without publishers, without the platform that publishers give books such as these, I think the reach that they have to this kind of an audience would not be possible. So thank you very much once again, Westland. And of course, the author is here to talk about the book. She's going to tell us much more than what I have as part of my introduction, but just a short synopsis, ladies and gentlemen, for all of you about the book. Meena Bindra did it, Jasu Shilpi did it, Neena Lekhi did it. Follow Every Rainbow, ladies and gentlemen, is the story of 25 enterprising women who took up a challenge. They raised a family as well as a company with love, laughter and patience, managing multiple equations, never giving in or giving up. These stories say one thing, loud and clear. Women think and act differently than men, but they can be just as successful. What success means is something only you can decide. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't need to introduce the lady behind the book here today. Rashmi Bansal, as you all know, is a writer, she's an entrepreneur, a youth expert. She's the author of 4 best-selling books in entrepreneurship: Stay Hungry, Stay Foolish, Connect the Dots, I Have a Dream, and Poor Little Rich Slum. Her books have sold over 500,000 copies and have been translated into 10 languages. Rashmi is the co-founder and editor of Jam, which is just another magazine. She writes extensively on youth and careers, entrepreneurship on her blog Youth Curry. Rashmi is also a popular guest speaker at reputed business schools in India and the US. She mentors numerous young entrepreneurs and also conducts motivational talks and youth insight seminars for corporates. An economics graduate from Sophia College, Mumbai, and an MBA from IIM Ahmedabad. She lives in Mumbai. And we couldn't have been happier to have her with us right here at Crossword Ken's Corner launching her book. So I know, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to keep stressing on ladies because I can see more ladies in the audience today. So if there are any of the men around who are wondering what this event is all about, you just need to join in and find out. But right now, what we're going to do before any of our panelists and the author talk is we're going to launch the book for all of you. And I would start by requesting Rashmi, joined by our panelists, to unveil a copy. There's, I think, a copy for each of you all in front. If you can just unwrap the copy for everyone in the audience, for the media and our customers right here. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Rashmi Bansal's newest book, Follow Every Rainbow. Please give her an encouraging round of applause. Well, there we are. Follow Every Rainbow by Rashmi Bansal. Thank you very much. I think we can kickstart this. It's going to be a very freewheeling discussion. But first, of course, we'll have Rashmi herself tell us about a little more about this book. She's had so many books that she's offered to us in the past, and if she can tell us what sets this book apart and what is it all about.
It's truly wonderful to be here today amidst all of you, friends, relatives, well-wishers, readers, and members of TIES Stree Shakti. You know, when my first book came out, Stay Hungry, Stay Foolish, I did an event like this. At the end of it, a lady came up to me and said, I thought this was a book about dieting, but anyways, it was an enjoyable, good book. So I think something similar is going to happen with this book called Follow Every Rainbow. A lot of men have been coming up to me and saying, oh, good book, I'm going to gift it to my wife or sister or daughter. But I want this to be a book read by everybody, men and women. The reason I wrote this book, to be honest, I never wanted to write a book on women entrepreneurs. Because I believe that women are as capable, as competent, as accomplished, as empowered, as equal as any man. So why do you have this category of men entrepreneurs and women entrepreneurs? I mean, entrepreneurship is a quality that could be in either a man or a woman. But one day I was speaking at a college. I go to a lot of business schools and engineering colleges and universities, and I talk to the young people, because I think that's the place where we have to plant the idea in their mind that they can do something different with their life. So a girl came up to me and said that, ma'am, why are there so few women in your books? So then I thought about it that, you know, in my first book, there are only 2 women in Stay Hungry, Stay Foolish. And then I said maybe because, you know, not that many women went for a management degree. So maybe that's why there are only 2 women. But even in my second book, Connect the Dots, there are only 2 women. So then I said that I think I need to look at this. Let me look at why I haven't been looking at women entrepreneurs. And after 2 years of meeting so many wonderful women like the ones who have joined me today on the dais, as well as so many of you in the audience, I've reached the conclusion that there are a lot of women out there who are doing many interesting things, but they're not really in the radar of most of the news media or of, you know, the people in general. I generally read about 2 kinds of women achievers, especially on the Women's Day. You know, that's the one day when they decide to highlight all the women achievers. So mostly you'll find that either we are talking about women who are CEOs, and definitely that's a great achievement today when we have so many women like Chanda Kochar or Naina Lal who've climbed up the corporate ladder. Or the second kind of women we see are the ones who have taken over the mantle of the family business. So we have a lot of women like, you know, maybe Preeta Reddy of Apollo Hospitals or Priya Paul of Park Hotels. And earlier, you know, fathers never passed on the business to the daughters, so that is something new and exciting. But what about the self-made women? You know, because that's the most inspiring of all. Like, if you can start with nothing and create something, you know, that's the kind of woman I want to write about. And the only name that comes to the mind is Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, who is definitely, you know, an amazing personality and, you know, very dynamic entrepreneur. But she couldn't possibly be the only one. So I went in search of the self-made women entrepreneurs. And those are the women whom you will read about in the book. And I won't talk very long because I would like them to speak themselves in their own words about their own journey. But I'll just very briefly tell you that the way after meeting so many women, I thought, how do I, you know, how do I present their stories? And I found that they broadly fall into 3 kinds of women, whom I've called as, the first kind I've called as Lakshmis. You know, we have this concept in India of Ghar Ki Lakshmi, the woman who, when she enters the house after marriage, she's the, brings prosperity in the house. And I found that there are many women who, like Nirmala ji, for example, who have started a small business, maybe just as a hobby or as a, as a passion. And they grew it, and then their family members joined to help them to take it to another level. So I think that's one kind of common thread I found with many women entrepreneurs. The second kind I found are the Durgas, the ones who actually never thought of doing anything beyond the traditional role. They were quite satisfied with being the homemakers. But something happened in their life, some tragedy occurred, some circumstance forced them to come out and become independent, and sometimes just to survive, to raise their own children. And at that time they found a hidden strength among themselves, within themselves, to do it. So that strength lies in all of us. I mean, we don't need a tragic circumstance to bring it out, but it exists in all of us. And thirdly, I think there are the women who are the Saraswatis who are with me on stage today, Neena and Deepa, who had the benefit of a professional education and exposure, but rather than use their skills in the corporate life, they want to create something of their own. And because it's more meaningful, it's more challenging, it's more fun, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. So pretty much that's what I want to say. I think I'll just add a last bit about the title of the book. Sound of Music is one of my favorite movies. I've seen it about 50 times, and there is a song in that book called Climb Every Mountain. So I first thought that maybe I can, use that as a title, Climb Every Mountain. But then I didn't feel that that's true to women. I don't think women want to climb every mountain, because, they will ask, what is the point of climbing this mountain? Will it really make me happy? Is it worth doing? What will I have to sacrifice to climb? Whereas I think most men will see the mountain and just decide if it's the highest mountain, let me try and climb it. So I felt that women, the third line of this song is actually follow every rainbow till you find your dream. A dream that will give all the love that you need as long as you live. And I think that's the spirit of women entrepreneurs, is that they want to do something meaningful, long-lasting, ethical, beautiful, and all of that is captured in the rainbow. So that's why I chose the title, Follow Every Rainbow. So thank you once again, Crossword, Westland, Thai Sri Shakti, and all of you who come here today. And I look forward to a day when there are so many women entrepreneurs that we outnumber the men, and we don't have to celebrate any women's days or have books specially on women. I think that day will come. Maybe it will take another 50 years, 100 years, but we are going towards that goal. So with that, I'll just, we'll have a brief, little bit of storytelling from the women who are in the book, and after that we'll open it to the audience for a question answer session. So I'll start with Nirmala ji, because निर्मल जी, आपकी स्टोरी मुझे बहुत ज़्यादा फैसिनेटिंग लगती है, क्योंकि आपने 49 इयर्स की एज में बिजनेस शुरू किया, जब आपके बच्चे बड़े हो गए, सब कुछ हो गया। वो एक ऐसा टाइम है जब लेडी सोचती हैं अब रिटायरमेंट का टाइम आ गया है, अब तो थोड़ा इजी लेंगे लाइफ, लेकिन आपने उस वक्त ये क्यों शुरू किया और आपका क्या मोटिवेशन था?
सबसे पहले तो मैं आप सब लोगों को धन्यवाद देना चाहती हूँ कि रश्मि जी ने इतना अच्छा किताब लिखा है। अभी हमने पढ़ा नहीं है, मगर घर जाने के बाद ज़रूर पढ़ेंगे। महिला जब काम करती है तो किसी न किसी ने उसको मोटिवेट करना चाहिए, और ये बहुत बड़ा काम रश्मि जी करती है, ऐसा मुझे लगता है। हम खाली काम करते हैं सबके सामने, रश्मि जी ये काम को हमारे लाती है, इसलिए मैं हृदय से उसको धन्यवाद, रश्मि जी को धन्यवाद देना चाहती हूँ। वैसे तो वो बहुत छोटी है मेरे से, मगर इतना बड़ा काम करती है। उसने मेरी स्टोरी तो लिखी है, मेरा एज अभी 60 है, मगर मैंने 10 साल पहले ये काम शुरू किया है। काम इसलिए शुरू किया, मैंने बिजनेस बोल के नहीं शुरू किया था। मैंने काफ़ी ग्रामीण महिलाओं को कुछ न कुछ काम देने के लिए यह मैंने काम शुरू किया है। वैसा तो मेरे स्टोरी में पूरा आया है, मगर ये सबको काम देना, मैं तो टाटा बिरला नहीं हूँ, इतना काम सब लोगों को दें, मगर वेस्ट से बिजनेस करना और उससे 4 पैसे कमाना, ये मेरा मोटिवेशन था। इसलिए मैंने यह काम शुरू किया। वेस्ट डिस्पोजल से गैस तैयार करना, खाद तैयार करना और इलेक्ट्रिसिटी तैयार करना, ये मैंने काम शुरू किया। उससे काफ़ी लोगों को बिजनेस दिया है। बस इतना ही किया है। 50,000 से शुरू करके आज 5 करोड़ तक मेरा टर्नओवर गया है। बस इतना ही कहना चाहती हूँ। बच्चे बड़े हो गए, मेरी लड़की भी आई है नेहा, वो मुझे साथ करती है। वेस्ट वाटर ट्रीटमेंट का भी काम हमने शुरू किया है। ये मैंने काम बिजनेस बोल के नहीं किया है, धरती माता के लिए मैंने यह काम शुरू किया है, तो आगे चल रहा है। बस, थैंक यू।
Neena, you started this journey of entrepreneurship when you were a student of Sophia Polytechnic, and it's been 25 years, and now today your brand of bags, Baggett, it can be seen in all the shopping malls. So did you ever imagine it's going to grow this big when you first started? Did you have that vision and ambition, or it just happened? I mean, how did it happen?
Thanks, Rashmi. You write so beautifully, especially the prelude where you've written about women. It was so touching. Literally had tears in my eyes when I got the PDF file that day. Anyways, talking about myself, yeah, I guess it was. I think it was pretty much of a trauma for me when I failed in my first year of college. That's at Sapphires, and that was painting, like the foundation. And if you fail in painting college, where the hell do you go after that? It is like that. And but I guess I wasn't the kind who was used to failing in school. I was always teacher ki chamchi head girl and very goody girl kind. So when this happened to me, it was like, I don't know what has happened, patal, kind of thing. And I guess I then had to, prove to myself that I can't be a failure and I can't be somebody who's a dropout and stuff. And then I did these part-time courses, and actually it just happened out of just sheer passion, hobby. I remember the days, just like the torn jeans I'm wearing today, I used to tear canvas, go to Abdul Rahman Street, buy stuff, buy studs and splash paint and do all the crazy things that we would want to carry as youngsters. And then I guess it's this grace, and it's grown, and we're really enjoying ourselves today as a brand, learning every day. Learning for me especially, because being a right brain person, I've always been more into just design and not looked at cash flow, not looked at the financials. But I guess you learn the hard way. Being women, we are not known to be so great at that, but I guess. And also learning so many new things, right from production all the way up to marketing. So we are right from grassroots to all the way up. We like to learn and discover as we go along, and we have major amount of women with us, and I think women are wonderful, and guys also. But
Deepa, you started your professional career in the typical way that MBAs do, and you were very driven. You were, Deepa is a graduate of SP Jain Management Institute, and you joined Hindustan Unilever, which was your dream job. But then you decided to, change tracks and start your own company. So tell us a little bit about that.
Thanks. Rashmi, thank you very much for giving us this wonderful platform. And at this point in time, if there's, 2 people who would I'd like to be very much in this room, is Rashmi's mom and dad, who are sitting right here. And I can just imagine the kind of pride, and I'm looking at their expressions, and I think she's done a fantastic service to entrepreneurs, and it's really fantastic. My journey started, it was serendipity. I went away, I went back after a 5-month-old baby to work. Coming from a family where all the women work, the thought that I might want to take a break or stay at home after my son was born never crossed my mind. So a month after going back to work, I really listened to the way I was feeling, and I'm really privileged to have a partner who listened to me, listened to myself, and when I spoke about my sadness about leaving the baby, and I took the opportunity to actually take a career break. And when I took a career break, I went away to Jamaica, which was really what it was really following my rainbow there, to go there and maybe experience the Caribbean, grow the baby, make him a little older, write a book. That was really the plan. So I took a 2-year career break. Little did I know that I wasn't cut out to be a stay-at-home mom. So I went away with this intention that I wanted to sit and write a book, but no ideas would come because I was always so angry about doing not doing anything. So the baby was great, but it wasn't enough. And that's really when I got a small opportunity after knocking a lot of doors and discovering that I wasn't God's gift to mankind, because I just assumed that companies in Jamaica would want to hire me. So I was really at the rock bottom. I was really down in the dumps, so demoralized and demotivated that I wanted to do something and I wasn't getting an opportunity. And it was really through that sense of absolute angst that I felt, and I said there would be so many women like me who have a young baby, who want to do a great job being moms, but neither a great mom, not a great wife, not feeling a good person, and just so angry inside. And out of that personal experience was really how Lumiere, the idea, was born. So I came back to India, and for 16 years I'm doing the same thing. Yeah.
So I think I'll just do one more round of questions before I throw it open to the audience. And I mean, there's always this question of, can women have it all? And I've tried to, in this book, actually feature women who've had a career and a family, not either or. So any words of advice or any experience you'd like to share on that front, on how, I mean, there's so many young women in the audience who are going to go through the same dilemmas as what all of us have. So anything you have to say to them?
Yeah, absolutely. I think women are born multitasking. If you know anything about how men think and how women think, we are always multitasking, whether it be in the kitchen, the phone, the baby, what's to be given here, what's to be done, So I think it's like the back of our hand. In fact, I think it's privileged to be women, because, they never keep you waiting outside because you're a woman, and you'll always get service faster, and you can be absent at any time, and you can always give excuses of home front. And I think it's lucky to be a woman. It's no ways difficult. But I guess you got to balance all your stuff. So my husband actually has helped me a lot in being complete as a person, and the way of I do a lot of training programs with him, and I have trained myself for taking care of my time management, so I never feel that I'm not giving enough time to my family, or I don't have time for friends, or I don't have time for anything. So that's also important, to learn to train yourself with something.
निर्मला जी, आप बताइए कि दोनों कैसे बैलेंस कैसे कर सकते हैं? घर का भी जो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है, बाहर भी बिजनेस करते हैं तो बहुत प्रेशर आते हैं, तो आप कैसे करते हैं?
ये तो बड़ा कठिन सवाल है। इसका तो जवाब ऐसा 2-3 सेंटेंस में देना तो बड़ा मुश्किल है, क्योंकि डे टू डे हमें तो फेस करना ही पड़ता है ये सब। घर की गृहिणी है तो ये पूरा तो संभालना ही पड़ता है, बच्चों, घर, संस्कार और बिजनेस। मगर लकीली मेरे लिए ये अच्छा है कि मेरा घर से मुझे बहुत सपोर्ट है, क्योंकि ये मेरा तो बिजनेस हटके है, सबसे हटके है, वेस्ट डिस्पोजल का है, तो और ये बाकी लोगों के लिए है। तो सवेरे मेरा तो दिन सवेरे 5 बजे से शुरू होता है तो 11 बजे तक चलता है। इतनी फ्रेश रहती हूँ। कल नागपुर गई थी, मगर जहाँ जो भी कोई बुलाता है तो ये मैंने सोशल वर्क बोल के किया है, इसलिए मैं कभी थकती नहीं हूँ। और अच्छी बात ये है कि मेरे मिस्ट्री इंजीनियर है, वो भी मुझे सपोर्ट करते हैं, लड़की आई है वो भी सपोर्ट करती है। फैमिली बैकग्राउंड जब बिजनेस में इन्वॉल्व करते हैं हम तो बड़ा मज़ा आता है बस, और इसी में मैं मज़ा ही लेती हूँ, बाकी कुछ नहीं, बिजनेस छोड़ दो, मगर ये इतना अच्छा लगता है और ये मैंने 10 साल में कंट्रोल किया है। पता नहीं है, रश्मि जी जैसी लेखिका मुझे मिलती है, वो बताती है सब लोगों को, नहीं तो मेरा काम तो किसी को पता ही नहीं चलता था ना, इतना छोटा सा काम है, इसलिए ये हो सकता है, करना चाहिए, दिल से करना चाहिए बस, बाकी कुछ नहीं है।
Deepa, your
So, I'll just tell you that it's really about, so there's two things. One is, I would think, being really honest to yourself in terms of what is it that truly makes you tick. So the moment you find what it is that is your passion, what is it that really makes you happy doing, it's that, work, play, all of that sort of blends together. That's one piece. The second piece is, like what Nirmala ji said, it's, when you're doing something that's touching lives and it's really making a difference to other people's lives, I think it probably creates its own stream of positive energy. And, I also get that feeling. I start my day 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm at it till 11. I try and put in a lot of things because I have a lot of interests, so whether it's playing, whether it's, I have 2 kids, dog, I have a large family, in-laws, my dad who's an invalid who's with me. So it's really about family, friends, people. I draw a lot of energy and inspiration from just the positivity that's around me. I allow truly no time leaks and no energy leaks, and that's really my philosophy. I read voraciously, I love to write, and I want to do everything. So I think just being free and being my own person and doing my own thing alone is my inspiration. I think that's really what keeps me going day after day.
At this time, just before we open the question answer session for the audience, I'd like to invite Zankana Kaur, who is heading the Thai Sri Shakti networking platform in Mumbai, and she's been a great support and help. Not only at the time when I wrote the book, I met her and asked her to introduce me to a lot of women entrepreneurs, and also today's event, she's a wonderful dynamic leader, and I'd just like her to share a little bit about Thai Sri Shakti, and also if you could introduce some of the members in the audience who are also women entrepreneurs, or they could.
Thanks, Rashmi. And this is a very interesting program. The reason I'm saying that is when Rashmi started her research, like she mentioned, we met up in 2009, and I still can't forget that day because we were still debating she said, I've been thinking of doing a book on women entrepreneurs, and we both have the same challenge that we can't think of many people besides Kiran Mazumdar Shaw and Shanaz Hussain, and these are names which have been heard so many times. And both of us believe there are so many gems which are still to be found. And at that point, we had just launched Thai Sri Shakti and done our first awards. So I was quite positive. I said, let's give it a shot. I'm sure with this journey in the last 3 years, she's found so many gems along in the journey. We have done 2 awards and conferences, and we have found so many gems. There are a lot of our members sitting here in the audience. So Thai Sri Shakti basically is a platform which enables women entrepreneurs. We help them in growing and scaling their businesses. We do different kinds of programs which are educational, mentoring in nature, and we do this month on month. We also celebrate them by doing an awards once in 2 years. The whole idea is how do we look at the difference of men and women entrepreneurship, because that's another debate. Men entrepreneurs and women entrepreneurs have a lot in common. I think there's just that little bit of a forum that you need where you need to vent out all these different frustrations and a few things that you need to get mentored. So that's the platform where women entrepreneurs have stepped in. I'm not going to take too much time, but I'm going to ask a few of our members to probably introduce themselves. Bela is sitting right here, so she can talk a little bit about herself.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Bela Shah. I actually have a jewelry store. I deal in imitation jewelry from Opera House. So we started like 2 years back with, I have a partner who's a jewelry designer. So I had this undying passion. In fact, I could relate to Nina Lekhi as well as Deepa Soman, because I had this undying desire, like just to become an entrepreneur, and I didn't know what to do. And there was always this feeling that I need to get somewhere. And that's when I met my friend who's a designer, and we came up with this. And TIE Stri Shakti has been really helping a lot, because we have a lot of networking and everything going on there. So I could connect to these people out here, and I felt so good knowing about them, because I know they are my inspiration, and I've been really touched by Rashmi's book, Stay Hungry, Stay Foolish, because that has been my inspiration for my business. Thank you.
I'm also going to ask Mrs. Shaila to speak a couple of words. She has been a member. She's also the better half of one of our board members, and she's also, on the board of IMC Women's Wing. So,
It is impromptu.
No, my connection to TIE is through my husband, Harish Mehta. He brought TIE to India, to Bombay, and then to other cities in India. TIE was a very successful platform for entrepreneurs in Silicon Valley, and one of our close friends, Kanwal Dekhi, was very much after him to bring it to India, and I'm very happy it's come to India, and it's doing so much good service to motivating and promoting entrepreneurship in India. About Ladies Wing, I'm part of it. I'm on executive committee of Ladies Wing and chairing their entrepreneurship committee currently. But I think you don't need not know too much. Thank you.
thank you. And before we open it out to Q&A, I'm just going to ask Shweta to just come here for a minute. And Shweta is an entrepreneur. She's into the business of making chocolates, and I'm fortunate to also have her in our team. So she's also managing TIE Stri Shakti with me.
Hi, I'm Shweta. So as she said, I am also an entrepreneur. So I make chocolates in chocolate bouquets, and along with that we plan surprises. So if you want to say thank you or sorry to someone, or plan a proposal date for someone, we do that. So this was again out of passion, because surprises we plan for everything. But for sorry and thank you, like I have customers wherein the customer just calls me in the morning, श्वेता आज वाइफ के साथ झगड़ा हो गया है, बस मैं रात को जाऊँ तो दरवाज़ा हंसते हुए खोलनी चाहिए. So we have such customers. So this was again out of passion, which I started a year back after joining TIE, and I also work with TIE, taking care of mentoring at TIE Stri Shakti. Thank you.
So with Rashmi's permission, we're doing one more woman entrepreneur that I just spotted. And I don't know how because I think probably there's a tall gentleman sitting right in front of, I couldn't spot her. Smriti Dalvi is the founder of Florista. And she's also part of the core team. And we just can't do too much on our own. We have a lot of women who also volunteer, as well as men entrepreneurs who volunteer for TIE. And before I hand it over to her, we also have one of our board members. I'd just like to acknowledge Mr. Raj Nair, who's come here to support this entire initiative. Thank you, Raj.
Hi everybody, I'm Smriti Dalvi. Florista we founded about 8 years back, and it was very tough because a florist business is known to be very unorganized, and even today 80% is unorganized. So it was very difficult for us to act like a corporate and go to somebody, because they would always say that Rose ka itna, I mean how can we pay you, because they're so used to bargaining with the roadside guys. So today Florista has made a small name in the country. We're about 25 stores in 10 cities, and hoping to be 100 in the next 2 years. So that's what I should say about it. Thanks.
So that's it from us, and I'm hoping to see more and more women entrepreneurs engage with Thai Stree Shakti. So for the women who are here, please come and contact us, and for the men who are here, please connect your spouses and friends and family. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And like Rashmi said, should we throw it open to the audience now? So if there's anybody in the audience with questions, comments, they could address them forward. We'll go in an orderly manner.
Hi, my name is Dipesh Thakkar. When do you plan to come out with the local languages of the same book, like Gujarati for my mother? She wouldn't understand English so much.
Yeah, Gujarati book will come out. It is being translated.
By when?
I'll have to check. Maybe 3 months, 6 months, something like that. Yeah.
Thank you.
This question is to the whole panel. I work for a large organization and work with a lot of women over the last 27 years. A lot of them very driven, want to do something very well, and they do it very well. What would be your advice to all those women who believe that they have to be perfectionists in everything when they are juggling so many things? It's okay to trade off, it's okay not to do everything fantastically well. What would you advise them? Because I'm going to take your advice, because I'm going to be sharing that with all the women whom I work with.
I think meditation is my cure. Because whenever I go,
That won't satisfy the younger ones in my organization.
Sorry, I'd like to answer this because I have been a working woman and I can understand the psychology behind it. Basically, a woman, whoever she is, she wants to be a good wife, a good employee, a good mother, a good daughter-in-law, a good at everything, is all because right from our childhood we are told to sacrifice. We are nurtured to sacrifice. We are told that you are born for others. And that is why it is always the giving that makes us try to do the best. And in that, somewhere we try to balance out things. Some things we let go, but some things we just can't let go. And that is where, the perfectionism comes in our way. And when it comes in our way, as she said, we sit back and think, what am I up to next? And that is where, as she said, I am a student of Brahma Vidya. Again, a technique which helps me to, forge ahead whenever there is a problem. But yes, it is yoga, meditation. These are the things that really can make that woman stable whenever she's going for perfection. But perfection is our spirit. We can't help it.
I just want to answer, Shashi, that it's taken me a long time, but I think the first time I kind of stopped being a perfect house proud woman was one when we had our first dog who chewed up everything, babies. You kind of just grow into accepting things and letting go, and I think. One of the things that has helped Lumiere grow is to believe that yes, you want perfection at the end, but to arrive at that perfection, you have to put together people, processes who will do things in and bring whatever it is that they can best bring to the table. So it's not about, let's say, one end point which has to be perfect, but to get there, you build in a tolerance for imperfection, and I think that's very important to keep sane, to keep growing, to learn, and to have the humility to make mistakes, and to believe that there will be imperfection and you will make mistakes and you'll grow out of it. So I think I have stopped in some sense about, so it's hard to let go, but I think it's the only way, and I think women need to
chill out.
Bravo. Good evening. First of all, wish you all the best for the future lineup of the Briggs. There are only two or three things which I wanted to bring up. Unfortunately, because of the sad incident in Delhi, Nirbhay, and our finance minister announcing 1,000 crore package for women exclusively. Now, in the era when we want equality, that German Grey and that movement of men and women coming equal and facing the challenges which are in the system and doing business, don't you feel that having separately and carving out an institution exclusively for women, manned by women, would defeat the purpose of women entrepreneurs stirring out at night and going into a shell? That is one thing, observation. Second thing which I wanted to show, unfortunately in the media, the television serials and the films, women entrepreneurs are shown in such a sad light as the difficulties they face, the winning. We have an experience of Lijjat in the real life. We have Seva. Now, should not Stree involve with good filmmakers and depict women in a real life spirit that they can really venture out without fearing and starting an enterprise of their own?
See, first of all, we should call Ekta Kapoor and tell her that we want to see these kind of serials. Being a woman entrepreneur now, she should maybe move to that next level of telling stories. Already Saas Bahu is out of fashion, so we are in the middle path. Maybe the next, is to show strong women. We used to have such women on the TV screens about 20 years back. We had Rajni, we had other such women, but we don't see them anymore. But as far as the other point you're making, it is true that one might ask why have things specially for women, but I'll just give you a very small example. A couple of weeks ago I met a lady who is a lady sarpanch of a village in Jalgaon district, and she told me that actually I got this seat because of women reservation. I mean, my husband is a politician and he cannot contest, so I got the chance because of women reservation. But I think the work she's doing is fantastic. So what if the door opened for her in this way? I mean, she would never have got this opportunity. But being a woman sarpanch now, she's looking at all kinds of issues which men were never interested in looking. For example, alcohol problem, with so many men in these rural areas who are just drinking alcohol and abusing their family, or the whole issue of superstition, like people don't want to go to the doctors, they want to go to the those jhad funk. So she's looking at issues which were not ever the concern of the men sarpanches. So similarly, I think Women's Bank, there are hundreds of women who will never go to a usual bank. In this book, there is a story of Seva, which is a self-employed women's organization, and the work they have done with Seva Bank. Seva Bank is a huge institution, and it is supporting and helping women who are at the lowest level of our society, who are also entrepreneurs, the vegetable vendors, the rag pickers, the tailors, all these women are supporting their families, while the men, many of them are sitting at home unemployed. So there is a merit to Women's Bank, there is a merit to women's reservation. I don't think women want it, but the circumstances in society are such that they don't have the access to certain things like finance or certain platforms like political seats. I mean, how many parties are without reservation giving women a chance to come forward? So I do believe now that maybe it is of value, and I'm sure that women are not going to misuse and abuse this. I don't think that is going to happen. I mean, wherever we have seen there is also Women World Bank. It's not just in India, it's all around the world. There is a Women's World Banking Organization which is serving women in 50 countries. So these issues do exist. And we can look for an ideal world कि नहीं होना चाहिए, but आज है. So there's no harm in these kind of initiatives.
Another thing for de-stressing is walking, early morning walk in addition to yoga, meditation is another thing for de-stressing.
I just want to answer your question is that, see, I think that if some of us are lucky to get the support from our families, we should just take it very gratefully and we should be happy about it. I have been very lucky today. Whatever I'm doing, I want to thank my mother. She has been a great support for me from the time my daughter was born. I mean, I always knew that she can be there for me. And Lata, who is my housekeeper, I mean, without her, I don't think I can do any work that I'm doing today. You know, they always say, you know, behind every man there is a woman, and behind every woman there are other women who are supporting that woman. So I think if some of us are lucky to have such a support system, we should take advantage of it and not then go to office or go to work and keep worrying what is happening at home. Because I've seen many, you know, of my friends and colleagues and relatives, even despite having a support system, they're still worrying that, okay, you know, even in your presence things might go wrong. The child might not eat one day or something may happen, you know, but why just fret about it so much? I think today's mothers are really, you know, too involved. I think maybe, I don't know, my daughter is now 13 years old. I guess she can tell you whether or not I brought her up well or not. And she might reveal too many secrets, so I won't give her the microphone.
My name is Shankar Pai. What is the difference between 6th March and 8th March? So why not celebrate International Women's Day today? Okay. Secondly, I am afraid of 3 women. My wife and my mother. And my third is my goddess. By the way, I am a lawyer by profession. And secondly, I got inspiration from this lady and her daughter here. I run an organization known as Waste Management Institute. And we have been covering awareness about waste management to a number of people. And we can have talks on waste management for the people and also gain from the experience of these two ladies here. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments. We could maybe take another question before we move on. Anybody in the audience? Yes.
This question is to Ranjana of TIE. Would you like to revisit the word mentor? As in TIE is mentoring, so perhaps we need a new word now.
Mentor.
Yeah, so I guess you were, putting that question to me, and mentor is one word, which of course I think maybe we can recoin it to womentor is what you're trying to say, but I think we won't get that, women-centric right now, and we'll still keep it as mentoring, no problem.
But women already have men.
That's another one.
Thank you very much, everybody, for your questions. Well, Rashmi, before we end, you've had so many lovely titles, so many books come up, and this is your latest book. What happens from now on? I'm sure a lot of your readers would want to know what ideas are sort of happening in the pipeline, possibly another book later.
Yes, of course, when one book ends, the next one is already work in progress. So I do have many more books which I am in the process of researching and writing. And I think the one subject which is really interesting me at present is this whole idea of start young. I mean, why do you want to really wait till you complete everything, have a degree in hand, have experience, and then start? So if you look at Facebook, it started from Harvard dorm room. So I think that that's going to be one of the new things happening now, that we have young people who are so smart and so connected and so confident. So if you really want to do something, start it while you're still studying, and maybe you get a head start over many other people. It might even fail, but it's still a learning experience, and maybe you just do it for fun, like the way you started in college. You just did it for fun. It could grow into something, it couldn't, but so my thought is to look at whether we have such stories in our country. Maybe there are many potential Facebooks out there, so that's what I'm going to be working on student entrepreneurs.
So Rashmi, while we await your next book, probably on student entrepreneurs or anything else that you plan next, two small things that I'd really like to say. We have a group of women right at the back who were serving you refreshments as you came, and the whole idea was again to do this event very meaningfully. So we have this young group of student entrepreneurs who are from the Women's College, MBS College. which is part of SMDT Malad, and the professors standing there, please come here, and Professor Vidya, she is teaching them BMS and also a part of entrepreneurship. So we as Sai Sri Shakti have taken this mandate this year to kind of support them and do some kind of programs with them, and this is the first thing that we've done. The other thing is that we've had Nirmala ji, who's also been our awardee in 2009 at Sai Sri Shakti, and she's one of the awardees, and we've had many more in 2011 as well, and we would be looking at 2013, and I'm hoping to see many, many more interesting women this year. So just 1 minute for Professor Vidya, if she'd like to say anything.
I just want to say thank you very much, Rashmi. It's been a lovely platform for our students. They are all undergraduate. Anything that you've tasted has been homemade, made with their own hands, everything, right from packing to all the food, beverages, what you've had, it's homemade, and they all three are responsible for making it. Thank you for this platform. These are a young set of women whom we are trying to train beyond the bars of their house, and this thank you to Z also. She's been very kind enough to trust us to do this event, and still yesterday till morning our principal was like, he said we'll do it, and hope we've done a better job. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much once again. A very, very special thank you before we end to each of our panelists here. We have your stories in the book, but for you to actually come out and endorse it to everybody here today, I think it means a lot. So thank you very, very much. Thank you very much to Zankana. I think what you did today formed such an integral part of the book and the reason why we're all here for today. So thank you very, very much. And we wish you all the very best in all your future endeavors. And the same goes out to Rashmi, whether it's the next book that you're coming up with or the books that are to follow. We hope to hear and read more from you. Thank you very much. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause. Rashmi Bansal, Follow Every Rainbow. We have the books on sale at Crossword.